This is the Tuesday edition of Central Valley Talk. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you from our Tower District studios inside the Mike Briggs building. Thank you for joining us. Happy February, the second month of 2022. You know, last Monday kicked off the first official day that you could start filing your taxes. And for more insight and advice on that, joining us live in our Tower District studios today is Walter from Freeman and Associates. Hello there, based right here in Fresno. Welcome,
Yes.
Walter.
How are you doing, Austin?
Very good.
All
Thank
right.
you for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me on here.
We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to get into the story about Freeman and Associates and yourself in just a couple of minutes, but some of the changes this year, the big one is that child tax credit.
Yes.
So let's start with that, because that's like the most popular question you've been getting. Is it?
Yes,
You
it
told me
is.
earlier.
Yeah. Right now, the child tax credit, well, due to COVID last year, you know, a lot of families were impacted as far as, you know, losing their jobs, hours being cut from work. So the federal government actually implemented, of course, the economic impact payment, which was the stimulus, and also the child tax credit, which is to help out families that had children that are under 18, to help give extra money in their pocket to help out their families. But as everyone very well knows, that didn't start up until the middle of the year last year in July. So those payments started in July and went on to the end of the year in December. So now this year on your 2021 tax return, what the IRS is doing, you are able to collect the remainder of that child tax payment. Federal government gave everyone the child tax credit last year, along with the economic impact payment, which is everyone else would know as the stimulus. So if you do have children that are under the age of 18, you contingent upon how many that you have, you will be receiving the child tax credit. Most folks started receiving that child tax credit last year in July. They received the first 6 payments up to December, but now for this year on this tax return, you will receive the remainder of that payment through your tax return as a tax credit.
So, okay, I've got twins. They are 5, and I was getting $600 a month.
Okay.
$300 for each kid.
Correct.
And then this year, starting January 1, those payments disappeared.
Correct.
So is this going to affect me for 2022, or are we talking about for 2021? I guess I'm kind of confused on the timeline of how it works.
Okay, that's a great question. I've been asked that question a lot. That child tax credit only affects you for 2021. So moving forward in 2022, they have not released any information whether they're going to continue the child tax credit or the economic impact payment for that matter. So that remaining tax credit that you're going to receive on your tax return is for 2021, for the child tax credit, that is.
Okay. So for my family, then, if I got all the money each month, will I have to pay taxes on that?
On the tax credit?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to pay tax.
Okay, so that's
tax credit money is basically, let's just say a gift.
Okay. All right. So that's good, because I think a lot of people are wondering, like, am I going to have to pay?
No,
on
you
that?
don't. You don't have to pay that back. I know a lot of people were thinking that they were going to have to pay back the stimulus and also pay back the child tax credit, but no. That was something that the Department of Treasury, well, should I say the federal government, came up with to assist everyone who was hit hard by COVID. A lot of people lost hours at work. They even lost their jobs. Kids were at home. You know, they couldn't go to school. So a lot of families were hit hard by this. So that's why that child tax credit was given to help, families with extra money, to take care of your children during this that difficult time.
One of the things I was reading yesterday in relation to tax news is the IRS right now is dealing with kind of a backlog going in, excuse me, to this tax year. And I was watching, I think it was CNN. One expert was saying, try to get your taxes done earlier the better this year.
Yes, that is true. The IRS, they are extremely backlogged right now. They're even for prior year returns, they're barely just getting caught up to October right now. There was even a few customers that I had not received their tax return refunds for last year when we submitted them. Mm-hmm. So that is true. I know a lot of that has to do with, again, getting hit by COVID. Mm-hmm. It also hit their employees as well. A lot of the Internal Revenue Service employees, they weren't working. Some of them couldn't go into their respected offices. A lot of them were working from home. Even right now, they still have a lot of customer service reps that are working from home, taking calls. So it affected the process of a lot of returns.
It was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It was. So I do advise everyone, if you have all of your tax documents, don't wait until March or April if you can. Try to get in now as soon as you can and get those processed as soon as possible. Because you could see some delays, definitely. And you don't want to try to avoid a lot of mistakes. I know there are some people out there who have multiple jobs, or they have multiple streams of income, or they have pension payments. Also, there's a lot of people that were on unemployment last year, due to COVID. Don't get frustrated if you haven't received all your tax documents and you're in a hurry. Wait for all of your tax documents. Because if you file your tax documents and you leave something out, there's a chance the IRS could send you out a notice stating that they want you to do an amendment to add in a tax document that you forgot, and that could cause more delays. So try to make sure you have all of your tax documents, and don't wait if you have them, and get it filed as soon as possible.
And I would imagine you're not as busy in this moment compared to what you're going to be, how busy you're going to be, end of March and April at go time. So
surprisingly, last week, as everyone knows, Monday the 24th was the first day they started accepting tax returns. So it was fairly busy, but a lot of people have not yet received their W-2s. Yeah. This week, getting a lot more people coming in as people are more and more employers are sending out the W-2s. But usually my busiest time is around mid-February. That's when everybody has everything and they're swarming in.
Okay. Quick question, going back to, the last just couple of years with COVID, many people decided to pivot and get into business for themselves.
Yes.
What advice would you have for small business owners that, this is the first year that they're going to be filing just for their small business?
Well, definitely the advice I have for anyone that has a small business and this is your first time filing, definitely make sure you have proof of your business, number one. That's something that the IRS is really stern about. Make sure you have proof of the business. Make sure you keep track of your income, how your stream of income, whether you're making deposits in your bank account, whether you're using QuickBooks. Make sure you have the proof of your income on standby to send over to the IRS. As far as your expenses, if you're keeping your receipts or you're keeping those in QuickBooks as well, make sure you are keeping track of those expenses so that when you fill out your Schedule C with your income and your expenses, you have something to reference to, or should I say the IRS has something to reference to in the event there is an examination audit. Right. And that does happen a lot with small business owners. who file their taxes, especially first-time filers who have a small business. I try to always stress that to those small business owners. Make sure you have that.
Finally, tell me the story about Freeman and Associates. How long have you guys been helping people with their taxes?
Well, you know what? That interesting story. I was one of those guys who was who arise from the ashes after the great real estate bust we had in 2008. For years, I worked in the mortgage industry like a lot of guys. Starting out working at the banks, then eventually went on my own as a broker. Wow. Things were great, and then all of a sudden, when the market crashed, things weren't great. Yeah. But I know that I used to constantly always find myself preparing a lot of tax returns for a lot of my customers who didn't have them done when they were trying to apply for home loans. And I had no idea. I was never licensed at the time, but I just knew how to help them get them done, and then I said, well, you know what? I think I have a knack for this. So I finally went, took a couple of training courses, took the IRS courses and to get certified, and learned a lot of stuff that I thought I knew I really didn't know, but I finally learned it officially. And then I decided to take a chance and a leap of faith and go into business for myself. I didn't start off at another company because I didn't want to go back and do that. So I just started on my own with some people that I knew. I started off preparing returns for friends and family, even a couple of past clients that I had. And they believed in me and they trusted me to get them done. Next thing you know, hey, those people referred other people. Those people referred other people, and then I started growing. That was around 2011.
So you've been doing this a while now.
Yeah.
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years now, and I really enjoy it. And I hope to stay around longer, and I hope to keep learning more about the business. Currently right now I only deal with small businesses and individuals. Haven't gotten into doing the large companies yet. That's not something that I'm comfortable with. But that is a goal that I'm shooting for, to get into that. Okay. To helping larger companies. I think they do need help out there, and there's not a lot of competent help out there for those guys. From what I've been hearing, and I said, well, I think I should go get educated on how to prepare those tax returns. Right. Once I'm ready.
Big things still to come.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. Great insight. And you are taking new clients?
Yes, I am right now.
Best way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me right now, I'm pretty old-fashioned. You can contact the office, and the office number is area code 559-298-9893. We're located here locally in Fresno. We do serve everyone all across the valley. And also, we know due to COVID, there's a lot of people that are still not totally comfortable with going everywhere. So we do offer phone appointments and video chat, Zoom appointments.
Oh, great.
So you don't have to leave your home.
Okay.
And we can digitally send you all of your tax documents. And all of your tax documents can be signed by DocuSign now. So we try to make it as convenient as possible for everyone, and keep it safe.
Last day to file your taxes this year without an extension is
April 15th is the day. Yeah,
okay. But they could extend that.
They could extend it, and I do want to go on record saying this. I know a lot of people, they go in a frenzy about April 15th. April 15th is not the last day to e-file your tax return. That is the last day to file an extension. Right. That's what it is. You can e-file, you can have your tax return prepared and e-filed all the way up to October 15th, actually. So as long as you file the extension. But again, April 15th is the last day to file an extension, not to file.
Because if you miss that date for the extension, then that means
it's late. So you'll pay a penalty.
A penalty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Penalty's not a hefty one, but it is a penalty nonetheless.
Yeah. Just try to get the extension or just do it early.
Yeah, just do it early.
Walter, good to meet you. Thanks for coming on.
Good to meet you too, Austin.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
All right. Freeman and Associates, get your taxes done, everybody. I'm Austin Reed. Thanks for joining us here on the Tuesday edition of Central Valley Talk.